Welcome to the 2025 Abbott Dash to the Finish Line 5K, hosted by New York Roadrunners. I'm Chris Chavez, joined by Olympian Carrie Tollefson. Carrie, this is the best weekend in the best city in the entire world, and today we're in for a treat with these races.
I love the Dash to the Finish Line 5K every year. It kind of kicks off this awesome weekend. You know, coming down in the elevator, there were people that are getting ready for the marathon, but also getting ready for today's race. So it's really awesome, and it's going to be a perfect day. Look at this, 48 degrees. Feels like 45, but a perfect morning to race.
Perfect conditions, and somebody's got to warm up the course for the marathoners that will be taken to the streets tomorrow. So there'll be 50,000 people competing in the New York City Marathon. But today, what is it, another 10,000 participating in the 5K?
Yeah, we have the elites up front, but then we have 10,000 people behind them racing.
Yeah, and the elite race, too, is just such a treat right now with the national champions that we've got. We've got Olympians on tap, and so it's a good mix. And this is a very interesting point in the season, too, because some people will be gearing up for cross-country, some will be focusing on the upcoming indoor track season, but it's never too early to mix in a road race.
No, and you know, actually, there's people that have come from the Fifth Avenue Mile,
yeah.
So they're bumping up in distance now. But yeah, you said it. I mean, a lot of people are at different points in their racing season, but everyone gets excited to race the streets of New York City.
And this is a very honest course, too. Let's take a quick look at it because it's an iconic one when it comes to just like the sights that you'll see. You start off on First Avenue in front of the United Nations before taking a right onto 42nd Street, and then you're going to be shooting up, passing Grand Central Station, passing Bryant Park, then another right onto 6th Avenue, shooting up that, passing Radio City, before you set your sights on Central Park. Make a right onto Central Park South before another turn into the park, where this is where, for the elites, the racing really begins. The final 1,200 meters or so of this race is where it has been decided in the last couple of years, and you see it zip on by because that's how quick they'll be making it to the finish line, that same finish line that is shared with the New York City Marathon.
How cool is that they get to finish uphill like everyone else, but only running 5K? And this is what they did last year at the 2024 Dash.
Yeah, so last year's fields were a little bit bigger because it did serve as the U.S. 5K championships. The men start first, then we had the women. Absolutely deep fields.
Really deep fields, and then, as we said, 10,000 more behind them. And this is a big party. I mean, we're starting at the UN, so there's all kinds of people representing all of the countries around the world, and they are very proud of that. And then they're racing through the streets of New York City, running by all these different iconic buildings and places, and getting to crack the tape there was Ahmed.
Ahmed Mohammed from Hoka NAZ Elite, last year's winner in 13:38. Then we had Annie Rodenfels taking the victory on the women's side. Back-to-back victories, 15:20, and now looking to potentially make it a three-peat. She's back.
She's back. Annie Rodenfels is a three-time U.S. national champion, two-time over 5K, and then the 6K. She's won this race the last 2 years. Annie starts her year off always here in New York City, and we are so thrilled to have her back.
Then we've got Whitney Colati, who is the U.S. record holder in the half marathon. She'll actually be riding in the lead cart for the marathon tomorrow, getting a glimpse of what could potentially be in her future.
Yeah, and she is the course record holder. And then Ellie St. Pierre, back after having her second baby. He's only 6 months old. Hi, Harvey. And yeah, she is an American record holder. She's an Olympian and awesome. So we can't wait to have her back. We're so thrilled she's back.
Welcome back, Parker Balby, 6-time NCAA champion, U.S. Olympian. It's been 272 days since her last race, and now she is healthy and back in action. Here's a look at your full start list. These PBs, many of them set on the track. Very, very quick times.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Alicia Monson back, too. She's an American record holder over many different events. And she had knee surgery last year, so she did race a little bit in the spring, but Alicia Monson is back and really healthy and excited to be back where she wants to be, and that is on the race courses.
All right, now let's also take a look over to the men's elite field, which is just as talented as this women's side, and it's headlined by Abdihamid Nur, who won this race back in 2022 with that 13:24, and that's still the course record. U.S. Olympian in the 5,000 meters. Was a little bit injured earlier on in the year, but is now finding his form at this point in the season.
Yeah, thankful to have him back as well. But there's a big contingency behind him as well. I mean, we are going to see Anthony Rotich. He's back. He won here in 2019. He's a 3-time U.S. champion. A lot of people remember him when he won 4 NCAA championships. But yep, Anthony Rotich loves racing in New York City, so we're thrilled to have him back as well.
And then we've got Aman Kemboi, the 29-year-old from Kenya. The thing that stands out to me is look at that 12:58 PB from the track. That was set earlier in the summer. Then to cap the summer, he won the Falmouth Road Race. I think there's big things ahead for someone like him when he decides to give the full marathon distance a try. And we've seen him pacing a lot of fast races so far. Here's your full field, and like we kind of mentioned before, because this year's race is not the U.S. 5K championships, you're able to add a little bit of international flair into the mix.
Yeah, we see the Kenyans there. You talked about Amon, but Patrick Kiprop had a great Peachtree road race in his debut for professional racing, but a lot of people remember him from Arkansas, just an awesome runner. Adam Fogg there. Lots of Cole Sprout, that's a big name from the NCAAs. But yeah, here we are.
They're
We're
all
live.
lined up, trying to stay warm moments before the race is about to go off, getting their final strides in. Patrick Kiprop debuting a brand new professional kit. He is now running for the On Athletics Club, and it is based in Boulder, being coached by Dathan Ritzenhein and Laura Thweet.
Yeah, they just announced this new road group, right, for On, and Patrick Kiprop has been going back and forth from Arkansas to Colorado. He's still finishing up his grad degree.
Oh, okay.
So he's got some school left, but he is going to be moving to Boulder, I think, after December. And, yeah, really excited about being there with Dathan and Laura and just having a lot of fun with that team.
This could be a big weekend for the On Athletics Club because, you know, in addition to Patrick kicking things off here, they've got tomorrow Helen O'Beary, someone who has won this race in the past, and then Joe Klecker. And for Joe, like, Patrick is someone who he's been training with over the last couple of weeks, and so you know, it's good to have those training partners, especially because he'd been doing so much work with track-focused guys, and now someone like Patrick has, you know, big-time roads potential.
He really does. When he ran the 10K in Atlanta, the Peachtree 10K, he looked so good there, and he really just kind of came into his own in the last mile. Very calm and collected in his first professional race. So it's going to be interesting to see how he runs today in a shorter race. He's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive early on. But yeah, Amon Kemboi right next to him in that purple kit. He loves to race here. We see him at the Fifth Avenue Mile quite often, and he's always that guy that gets to the halfway bonus first.
Yeah.
So he gets a little bit extra in his pocketbook, but I think he was 4th here this year. So, you know, and as you said, he had a great season this summer. He ran under 13 minutes for 5K and won the Falmouth race. So yeah, lots of great talent in this small but mighty field.
Yeah, the challenge with someone like Aman Kemboi is that he finds himself, you know, competing for a country that is so rich in talent in an event like the 5K, where something like, you know, 12:58, you know, is still not quite just the caliber to get you to the World Championships, but it's enough to get you a lot of big victories here, you know, on the U.S. road racing circuit. And so for him, I think like he's kind of at this crossroads of like, do I continue to stick onto the track, or do I start to pursue a career on the roads? He's run a half marathon in the past, but I think I was really impressed, you know, back in January, where he was like the most reliable pacer for the guys at the Houston Half who were chasing like these records and these fast times. And so he's proven that he can do it all.
Well, this is always the calm before the storm. Taking a couple big deep breaths in.
For a lot of these guys, it's also just, you know, thinking about where do I take my season from here. Some of these guys have been deep into fall training. A few of them potentially getting ready for the U.S. Cross Country Championships, which will be in early December in Portland, Oregon, to try and get a spot on their national team or the U.S. team for the World Cross Country Championships early next year.
Which is so cool that they're right here on home soil.
Yeah. We're about a few seconds away from the start to this race. It's a smaller field, but I think like for some of these guys, this will feel familiar because it'll feel like a bit of a track race.
And they're off. Here we go.
It's been windy in New York City the last couple days, and so we'll see if there's any pack action early on to try and block some of the crosswind over on the east side. That is Amon Kemboy up in the front of the race right now.
Not surprising to see him take it out. I mean, Amon Kemboy is such a leader. He loves to get out and kind of get aggressive, which I like in these early stages of this race. You know, they do have some turns, and making sure that they kind of navigate through that little bit of the tight turns as we have early on. But now they settle in a little bit. But I'm not surprised to see Patrick Kiprop right on the shoulder there, just sort of letting everyone else dictate what happens.
It's been a really good year for Amon Kemboy. Personal best in the 1500. He ran 3:37 indoors. In the mile, he ran 3:53, also indoors. Out in the 5K outdoors, again, we mentioned that 12:58. That was in Ortegem, Belgium, a track that is very fast. He was 6th at the Kenyan Championships.
And Abdi Hamanur right there. It's been fun to see him come back, but he had that terrible fall at the Olympic Games last summer and in the prelims, and didn't get to run the final, and then had to have surgery on his Achilles after that. So he did run a couple races last year, and he looked pretty good. Had a little bit of an issue at Nationals, DNF'd at Nationals on the track, but he's back and he's excited. He told me last night, feeling good, ready to roll.
I actually saw Abdi doing his final shakeout run, and he just blew past me on Central Park South, and I was like, all right, he's looking great. And he's sporting a much shorter haircut than we've been accustomed to seeing.
I had to kind of do a double take there.
Maybe a little bit more aerodynamic
Yeah.
to take a couple seconds off of his course record is what the goal is here today.
Well, there's that international field that we talked about. Adam Fogg there in the blue and green kit there on the right, or our right, of Abdi Hamanur. He's a great athlete. Runs some of the shorter distances. He just run the 3,000 meters indoors at the Millrose Games. So he too loves to run here in New York City. But he ran the 2024 World Cross Country, and we always talk about that. You know, Sam Grotwald, who recruits along with Dorian Kale, they love bringing really good cross-country runners here to New York, whether you're running the mile, the 5K, the marathon, because they can handle the streets a little bit better than some strictly track athletes.
As you see in the men's race, they just passed Grand Central Station. We are 2 minutes away from the start of the women's race. You can see them lining up right now.
Yep.
No big moves so far in the men's race, as they are pretty packed up.
This is pretty typical. I mean, both the last 2 years we've seen really big packs all the way into Central Park, and then there's fireworks on both the men's and women's side. So not surprising. Although a woman standing on the start line, Winnie Claudy, the last time she raced here, she blew it open right away. So we'll have to see what she does.
And just sort of on cue, we just see a little bit of a surge being made here by Amon Kemboy to really string this thing out. And Patrick Kiprop responds. Abdi Hamanur right behind him. So they're lining up almost as if they were on a track right now.
Using this long straightaway is smart for him to really get into that rhythm and just to push a little bit. Women are going to start here in 1 minute. Lots of nerves on that start line. Ellie St. Pierre there in her first race back since having her second baby. This is kind of typical timing for her after having a baby.
Yeah, I mean, she did this back in 2023 after having her first baby. She ran the Fifth Avenue Mile as her first race back. We'll be going back to the men's race shortly as we take a look over at the start of the women's elite race.
Alicia Munson there on your far right. She is back after having knee surgery. Annie Rodenfeld's two-time defending champion right next to her.
Parker Valby front and center right now. They're about to get ready to go. You could hear New York City Marathon race director Ted Metalis getting the crowd fired up. And they're off.
Courtney Frericks, we haven't mentioned Courtney Frericks, also an American record holder in this race. She's the steeplechase athlete that's been so injured as well. She too missed making the Olympic team last year, had surgery. You know, there's been a lot of injuries lately, but also just maybe some time for some young and upcomers to be able to shine a little bit as well, Chris.
Yeah, that was the thing I think that we saw at the U.S. Championships this year. It was a mix of quite a bit of turnover, especially on the women's side, between the 5K and 10K squads from the Paris Olympics to the World Championships. But for a variety of reasons, some of it was injuries, some of it you have athletes who have chosen to focus on the roads, but some of the key players also are coming back. And so the likes of an Ellie St. Pierre or Parker Valby, who missed the U.S. Championships this summer, are now working their way back. And this is the kind of race that you want to kickstart sort of like your return to racing, because it's not a high-pressure environment where there are team spots on the line, and no one is looking to hit a major qualifying time. This is just strictly about racing and enjoying, honestly, like the environment.
Well, everyone loves coming and running the New York Roadrunner events. They just have so much fun. They feel like rock stars the second they get off the airplane or however they get here. But $6,000 is on the line today. There's a lot of money on the line today, so maybe not a U.S. team or an international team, but there is definitely some money and some bragging rights for sure.
Over on the men's side, if you look on over to your top left, that is Patrick Kiprop now in the lead.
Yep, Cole Sprout right behind him, and then we're looking right now at our two-time defending champion, Annie Rodenfeld's leading the charge on the women's side.
She's very accustomed to doing this. You know, if we watched the U.S. Olympic trials on the track, she was competing in the steeplechase at the time, and she took it out hard from the front. And in many of these races, I guess, like, she also loves running from the front.
Parker Valby up there as well. You know, Parker is such a stud on the cross-country courses. We saw her at that when she raced for Florida. She looked so good always. Just kind of a fearless athlete up front.
Yeah, and I think that for her, this is all pretty new. This is her first professional road race. And she worked really hard to get back to this point. And so I think for someone like her, yes, a win would be amazing, but it's also about just getting one on the board after a big layoff from not racing.
Yeah, I mean, you miss that, right? You miss that energy. You miss that hurt. You know, a lot of people think we're crazy, us runners, because we love that hurt, but that's the thing that racing brings on. You can go and do it in workouts, but it's totally different in a race. As we're watching now on the men's side, Abdi Nur now kind of finding his way in to maybe a little bit of space there. Adam Fogg there on the outside. Patrick Kiprop still in the lead.
Drew Bosley just lurking there. He was the former NCAA record holder at 3,000 meters. He trains alongside Abdi Nur, and he's one of those guys who you have to look as a potential sleeper for the U.S. Cross Country Championships next month, but a threat here today in New York.
Yeah, Drew Bosley was 7th in the 10,000 meters last July, 12th in the 5,000. You know, he is someone that we know so well. I mean, he's run so well with NAU. He just has done amazing things. He set he was a former NCAA 3,000 meter record holder, and so just a guy that is always in the conversations, but new as a pro.
Yeah. He's got quite the aerobic engine, and I think, like, it's just as a pro, fine-tuning the speed to keep up and finding the kick to keep up with some of the top guys.
Elon Kemboy still in the mix there, right behind Patrick Kiprop.
And the men have just hit mile 2, and they are in Central Park now. Really coming into the home stretch of this one. Patrick Kiprop leading. Everyone is still in it.
Yep. Andy Rodefeld still up there. We now see Wayne Kalati entering the picture a little bit alongside Courtney Frericks there.
On the women's side, yeah, it's still Annie Rodenfeld's up toward the front of the race.
Ellie St. Pierre on the outside there. I think a lot of people notice that Ellie is back. We're wondering how will she feel in this first race, but you know, she is someone that just knows how to grind it out. She's not going to enter a race that she's not ready for. She said this time she left the boys at home, and she has her sister and her parents in the city enjoying one night away and maybe some sleep, she said.
Full business trip.
Yeah, exactly. But this would be a big day for Drew Broadsley. He is now moving into that lead position. Not won a U.S. championship before.
This is all about just who's going to make a move and how decisive can it be. The women hit mile 1 in 5:13, which is why you can see that all of them are still in the mix. Wayne Kaladi right there. Wayne, I spoke to her coach, Stephen Haas. He said after this race, they're going to, really assess what path to take, for the next couple months, whether she will run the U.S. Cross Country Championships to try and vie for a spot for the World Cross Country Championships, or target a fast half marathon and try and lower her own American record and get, even under 65 minutes potentially. That would be pretty enticing.
Well, in her first 2 half marathons, she set 2 American records.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got some really good stats there going, but these two know this course better than anyone. Annie Rodenfels has won here the last 2 years. Wayne Kaladi won the 2 years prior. So these two I'm not surprised to see them, but they still have everyone in this race.
On the men's side right now, they're running 4 wide. Adam Fogg, the miler, is still in contention as well.
And Anthony Rotich finally making a little bit of presence there as well, who's won here before many
Don't
years
forget
ago.
me.
And Cole Sprout now again back in the pack.
This is where sort of I remember in 2022 when Abdi-Hamid Nur won this race. He really gave it a go from 800 meters out, which is the mark that they had just passed. But Adam Fogg trying to stun the 5,000 meter and 10,000 meter specialists in this one.
Yeah, Adam Fogg from England is back here racing. He's a 13:17 guy. Doesn't run a lot of 5,000 meters. I don't think he's ever run a 5K on the roads here. And he is definitely pushing less than 800 meters to go on the men's side.
Adam Fogg is hoping that the British athletics selectors are watching this and, and thinking, hey, I might be a good option for that 2K relay in just a couple months.
This would be a big day for Eman Kemboy. He likes to race here, as we said, but he's only run over the mile distance on the road. He's starting to make a push.
Now that you see the flags right behind him, that means that the finish line is coming up. There's about 400 meters to go shortly. And on the inside there, that is Cole Sprout, who might be trying to take the likes of Eman Kemboy by surprise. They just hit the 26-mile marker, so this race is coming to a close very shortly. This might be a photo finish.
Cole Sprout, software engineer on the side of being a pro athlete. He also runs for the Swoosh TC under Jerry Schumacher. Here comes Drew Broadsley on the outside, and Anthony Rotich still in this race.
I have no idea who's going to win this one. Eman Kemboy powering, pumping those arms.
Last little uphill right here. Eman Kemboy trying to go. Here he comes.
Eman Kemboy has got a step on Cole Sprout right now. Look at him go. Powering through to the New York City Marathon finish line. Eman Kemboy is your Abbott Dash to the finish line champion. 13:50 unofficially. Cole Sprout takes second, 13:51. Anthony Rotich right there, 13:52.
A little bit of yo-yoing back and forth on that men's side, but Eman Kemboy, wow, he had great timing. He had great composure over the last 400 meters. He had a little bit of heat brought by Cole Sprout in the last 200 meters, but he just had enough to outkick, and this is going to be a big win for him. He saw, what it felt like to win at the Falmouth Road Mile, or at the Falmouth Road Race, and then he came here, was 4th in the 5th Avenue Mile. But definitely had a big day today, cracking the tape.
Your top 4 separated by 3 seconds. It was that close. In the women's race, we have a little bit of a breakaway move right now by Wayne Kaladi, who has won before, and right on her heels is Ellie St. Pierre and Parker Valby.
Yeah, Ellie St. Pierre just kind of lurking right there on the outside. Parker Valby looks smooth for someone that hasn't raced in how many days?
272.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. She always loved, I mean, you could just tell that, you know, when she was at the Olympic Games, she didn't mind touching the front there either. We saw her in the 10,000 meters. She took the lead. She is so young, but she is so race savvy. Annie Rodenfeld's holding on right there.
They had split through mile 2 in 10:06, so they picked it up just a little bit and setting up for a fast closing mile as they are now in Central Park.
Wayne Colati didn't quite have the track season that she wanted, finishing 4th in both the 5,000 and the 10,000. Did not make the World Championship team, but she did go over to Brussels and ran 14:37 in the 5,000 meters. Had a really solid day here, so this is important for her. She wants to get back on top. She likes to win. She's hungry. She's not afraid of a fast pace. She came here in June. She was 2nd at the Mini, so she loves racing in New York City. But so does Ellie St. Pierre.
Yeah, if she might not be afraid of the fast pace, but I'd be afraid of having Ellie St. Pierre on my heels right now.
I would be too. And you don't put anything past a mama. I mean, somebody that loves to race and loves to build her family, and she's doing all the things that she really wants to do. She's happy in life. A little bit maybe of looking around here, but Ellie St. Pierre now moving up to the shoulder of Wayne Colati.
Wayne giving that look was like, oh, Ellie's on my shoulder. Uh-oh. That was a little bit of a tight turn there.
Oh, those turns hurt so bad when you're going this fast.
This is the final stretch here.
I do like where Parker Valby is right here, though. Is she sharp enough to be able to turn on her final kick? You can't put anything past her. But now, as we're seeing maybe a little bit of distance, and Wayne Colati has to put the hurt on Ellie St. Pierre. You cannot leave it to a kick.
There's a little bit of downhill action here that you could take advantage, and someone like Parker, who has that cross-country prowess, is probably taking advantage of that because now she's reconnected with both St. Pierre and Colati. It's a 3-woman race right now, but you can't count out Annie Rodenfeld, who's also on the outside there.
Annie Rodenfeld is the most race sharp. She's coming off of that 10K at the BAA 10K, but I do feel like we are seeing a little bit of distance there, and Wayne Colati is really trying to draw this out a little bit. Parker Valby's holding on, though.
They're giving Parker an opening down the middle, and she's just staying on both of their shoulders right now.
I want her to move out a little bit, to be honest. I do. I think that they are really, there's tight. There's not much air there. I want her to move out just a little bit and see if she can get on the shoulder there and get that little bit of extra energy as they move up this final incline.
They're about to make a little bit of a right turn toward the finish line. You'll start to see the flags of all the different countries represented in the TCS New York City Marathon tomorrow. But it is a tight one right now. Ooh, Parker almost took almost rolled an ankle there, but she's recovered very quickly.
So Ellie St. Pierre there on the left, Wayne Colati on the right. Parker Valby starting to move out maybe just a little bit. Annie Rodenfeld, the 2-time defending champion, on her heels.
We said with these fields that we were going to get really exciting finishes, and we have just that right in front of us right now.
Racing for $6,000 in that title of taking the Abbott Dash to the finish line 5K. Wayne Colati has won here 2 times. Ellie St. Pierre has not won here 2 times. Parker Valby, this is her first pro race on the roads. And Annie Rodenfeld, a 2-time defending champ. This is the 4 that we thought.
This is all the major players right now. Wayne Colati has maybe half a step on Ellie St. Pierre. This is, at this point, it's just who's going to sniff out the victory here.
Well, it is all about positioning right here now, making sure, and I like what Parker Valby's doing. She is moving out. She's trying to get there. Wayne Colati has to feel her, but right now, this is big. Can she hold her off?
Less than 400 meters to go now. Ellie St. Pierre with a little bit of a lead. Who's got the best closing speed?
Ellie St. Pierre has Ivan back home. Little Harvey, 6 months old. First race back. It's Wayne Colati, the American record holder, on her shoulder. Parker Valby, the new girl in town. And Annie Rodenfeld is back in there.
Annie Rodenfeld's clawing her way back. The two-time champion finding another gear here to try and make it 3.
She's dipping her chin. She's going for it, Chris.
Digging deep.
It's Annie Rodenfeld. She's coming from the BAA 10K. This is what she does every year. This will be the 3rd time in a row that she's going to break the tape. Wayne Kalani right behind her. But again, Annie Rodenfeld
ran this race like an absolute pro. Annie Rodenfeld makes it 3 Abbott Dash to the finish line titles. Takes the victory 15:33. Wayne Kalani 2nd. 15:34, Ellie St. Pierre in 3rd, Parker Balby 4th in 15:37.
Wow, look at that. And you know what my favorite part about it is that right there. They wanted to crush each other, but they went and hugged, and they were so excited to have each other back. That was an amazing race. Talk about timing for Annie Rodenfeld.
Oh, okay, so the thing that to notice was that just while we were getting caught up in the excitement of Wayne Kalani and Ellie St. Pierre duking it out, Annie Rodenfeld is just, a hair behind them, but running essentially what could have been the tangents from the experience that she has stacked over the last couple of years, knowing this course probably better than anyone else.
Yep.
And executing that final K perfectly.
Execution. And I just got a text from her new coach, Julie Benson. OMG. So congratulations to Julie Benson and Annie, now making changes in life, going to Boulder, Colorado to train and taking her career in her own hands and going for it 3 times in a row. That is a huge stat for her. Congratulations.
A thrilling race on both sides.
Wayne Kalani right there. And welcome back, Ellie St. Pierre. We love what you're doing at home. We love that you're building your family, but we love seeing you on the roads and on the track. So fun to have her back.
Yeah, for Ellie, when the last time she had a baby and came back to racing, she ran 4:23 for 7th place at the 5th Avenue Mile, and then just a couple months later was the world indoor champion in the 3K. And I think there's a similar timeline potentially ahead. Her coach, Mark Coogan, told me that we'll be looking at a world indoor, title potentially again this year.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Here's the men's results here. Iman Kemboy.
13:50 for the win. Cole Sprout right behind him, 13:51. Anthony Rotich, 13:52. That is your podium. And now we are joined by the one and only Iman Kemboy, fresh off of that victory. Iman, how did that feel out there?
Felt good. Right coming up from last like a month and a half ago, ran here in 5th Avenue Mile. So pretty nice, comfortable. That was the pace that roughly what I paced in Chicago like 2 weeks ago. So felt comfortable when I saw 2 miles in. I was like, oh, this is comfortable. And right on the first mile, I was like, oh, no one wants to go with me. And I was right there. I was like, let me try to maybe just kick it in the first mile and see who's responding, and and then I settled back in, and then that's when the pace kind of went along with the guys on me. Yeah.
Cole Sprout came up on your shoulder there in the last 200 meters. You felt that and just then took off. Tell me how you kept your composure out there.
Right after turning, I saw the 800-meter mark, and Adam Falk came by and then pushed a little bit, stayed behind his shoulder, and then the last bit, the last stretch here, last 400, Cole Sprout came by, and I was like, still feel comfortable, and I was like, let me try the high knees a little bit and see. And then I was breaking off from the gas, and I was like, I got this. Just pushed on towards the finish, and that's a little bit.
You're crushing it on the roads.
Yeah. It's starting out well. Still some discussion, maybe some point going to the roads. But next year maybe still on the track and mixing it up with the roads, and maybe 2027 we'll see what comes around and we'll decide from there.
What's your favorite distance? You're so good at the mile, the 5,000, the longer races. What's your favorite?
We've had that discussion for since I joined the team with Puma Elite, and Alistair and Amy has been like telling me, we gotta figure out what we gotta focus on. But I mean, 5K, my favorite since I was in college. Yeah, and then it's just see what comes around. But eventually I'll run a marathon. Maybe we'll start in New York. We'll see.
Yeah, you had some good luck here so far.
Yeah,
I'd
for
say.
sure. Yeah, so that's the plan along the road, and see. I've been comfortable running the mile, which I never really focused on when I was in college, and probably focus on the 5 and the 10 this coming year, and maybe move up to the half marathons eventually, maybe the end of the next year.
What do you do to celebrate this win? I mean, this is a big win.
I know, it's like it's amazing. I mean, coming up out here and we're coming up with a win. It's a good feel. All those guys, like everyone, it's everyone's race at that point, but come out with a win. I'm grateful for sure.
You have some training partners that are competing tomorrow in the full marathon. What are your hopes and expectations for them?
You never know. They're feeling good, and I'm not surprised if they're in the mix basically. So we'll see, and be happy to cheer them on tomorrow. See who comes out with the victory, but eventually cheer my team all the way. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so
Amazing.
much. Congratulations.
Aman,
Thank
thank you
you
so much for joining us. Congratulations, and keep the celebration going.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you. Aman Kemboy. All right, now let's take a look at the women's 5K results. Annie Rodenfeld's capturing her third Abbott Dash to the finish line 5K title in 15:33. Wayne Kaladi takes second, 15:34. Elliot St. Pierre rounds out the podium in her return to racing in 15:35. And now we're joined by the champ, three-time champ,
Three
Annie
times.
Rodenfeld.
Yeah.
Congratulations. How did
Thank
that
you.
feel out there today?
Yeah, I was great. Yeah, I was expecting to have a little bit of a faster race, so I feel like I was kind of prepped for everything, and everyone kind of slowly just let me lead, and I was like, okay.
It was amazing.
Fine.
It was so
Yeah,
cool.
thank
I mean,
you.
then in the last mile, you were in fourth.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you were there, and there was a little bit of space,
A little
but
bit,
you
yeah.
just kind of kept coming back.
Yeah, just kept trying to think positively and like, okay, like I'm not out. Like I'm so close. I've been further behind and still been able to kick. I just wanted to maybe kick a little earlier because I was aware of who was kicking with me. I will never underestimate Ellie Furrier's kick. So yeah, I wanted to start a little bit and then felt still really good. So I was like, okay, this feels like a good time to go, and kind of was expecting people to come with me. And I don't know if they did, but I just kept pushing.
What
Yeah.
was it like when you guys kind of all embraced afterwards? That was like my
Yeah.
favorite part. I mean, I love watching you crack the tape, but then to see you all, just congratulate each other.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, it happens on the track too, but that's really why I love the roads. I just feel like you spend so much time like around your competitors in the morning because you're on the same hotel. You take the bus together, and I just feel like there's like a lot of just like encouragement and stuff on the road. So that's why I enjoy it so much.
You've
Yeah.
found success at this race now 3 times. Like, what is it that keeps you coming back and that you love about it?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you get to be here like in New York City on marathon weekend, like. Just the feeling is amazing, and also like they bring you in, they take so good care of you. You get to stay a day later, which never happens in races, and they treat you like royalty, and it's just like it's so fun to be here and to be part of something bigger where so much of the running community is.
Yeah.
A lot of the track races, it doesn't connect as much to the public because they're not going out to track and racing, but marathon weekend in like a big city is like everyone's there and everyone's excited. So
You've had some big changes this year, and I got a text from your coach
Yeah.
as you finished.
Yeah.
OMG.
Yeah.
So tell us about being with Julie Benson now, moving to Boulder, all of that.
Yeah, the move to Boulder's been good. It took a long time to adjust to altitude, and working with Julie has been amazing. I've known her since I was actually a freshman in college when I couldn't even break 20 in the 5K, so it just feels very serendipitous to be like working with her, and she's so encouraging and just like such a fresh of breath air as a coach.
Yeah.
Just like completely encouraging and like supportive. So
Been there, done that too, as a professional and an Olympian
exactly.
herself.
Yeah.
So what's next after this? Like, it's a weird point where you could take it cross country, indoor season. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I don't know if I can quite say yet, but
come on.
I'll be moving up in distance a little bit. Yeah, so
Really?
so keep an eye out.
Maybe 13.1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Maybe, yeah.
Keeping us on our
Yeah.
toes.
Yes.
Pins and needles. We'll be waiting for the big announcement. Annie,
Yeah.
congratulations on
Thank
an
you so
amazing
much.
day
Such an
here in New York.
awesome race.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Awesome. And that does it for the 2025 Abbott Dash to the Finish Line 5K. I've been Chris Chavez with Carrie Tollefson. Thanks for watching and enjoy Marathon Sunday.